Can you learn German in Berlin? Well, of course, but do you have to? Hi, my name is Steph. I'm almost 37 years old and I'm from the US. I've been living in Berlin for 6.5 years, and when I first got here, I didn't know any German. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey towards learning German, where I'm at now, and also give you some tips on what to do and not to do if you want to improve your language skills. Let's start. Los geht's! So I first moved to Berlin in 2018. As I said, I didn't know any German before moving here. For the first year, I didn't really try to learn it because I think there was just a lot of things going on that I had to deal with in terms of finding a longer term apartment. I just started a new job, and there's a lot of bureaucratic work that goes along with moving to Germany, as some of you might know. I basically started learning German in 2020 during lockdown because I thought, wow, I have all this time, I can learn it online, and I live here, so I think it's time for me to learn. That being said, I feel like a lot of people that move here don't always try to learn the language because it is a very English-friendly city. I really want to understand the culture better, and I am planning on getting my German citizenship at some point. It was really important for me to learn how to speak German. Now, after having learned it for several years, I feel like it's only helped me in my life here because I can get around a lot easier. I understand what people are saying to me, or even just overhearing conversations. It's nice not to totally be in the dark. So while those were all really important reasons for my motivation for learning German, I would say my number one motivation for learning is that I just wanted to be a lot more self-reliant. Every time I received some kind of letter in the mail, or I had to make a phone call for an appointment, or something involving the language, I would always need a German friend to help me. Having to be at the mercy of someone else's knowledge all the time just made me feel kind of terrible. My first tip for you is to really find your motivation as to why you want to learn this language. I wanted to be more self-reliant. I wanted to understand the culture, and I just felt like it would make my life a little bit easier, and it has. Even throughout the years, as I've had different reasons as to why I want to improve German, for example, applying for my German citizenship, I still always kept that core belief at top of mind. The more that I learned, the easier it gets, and that also motivates me to keep going. I struggled a lot in the beginning, and it's really difficult to feel comfortable. So what my tutor did in the beginning was he just encouraged me to try and speak as much as possible. At that point, I was just speaking to him mostly. I did have German friends at the time, but I felt so insecure and so nervous about trying to say anything in German that I would usually just default to English. Germans downplay how good they are at English especially. Anyway, tried to make a phone call in order to make a doctor's appointment. I made this phone call, I listened to what the person was saying, she gave me the date, the time, everything. The appointment day comes around, I go to the office, I ring the doorbell, no answer. And then I see a sign on the door in German, of course. Scan it with a translator, and it says that the office is closed for that day. I was so upset. I went home, I had a lesson with my German tutor the next day, and I just started crying because I was like, I don't understand the language at all. I've been studying now for months. I feel so stupid. And at that point, I swear to God, I was about to give up. And he said to me, you just have to keep going. And so after I got over being dramatic, I continued learning German for a few more months for the remainder of 2020. And then in 2021, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. My second tip here is to try and figure out a format that works for you. So as I said, I started off with private lessons online, which I liked, but I also wanted to see if maybe a classroom setting would be good for me. We were still in lockdown during 2021, and at that point I could only try to do online group classes, so that's what I did. I have to say I did not like online group classes at all. I feel like it was really hard to stay focused and keep myself motivated, but maybe that's also because there were a lot of other factors going on, and I don't know, maybe if I tried it today it would feel different, but at that time it was not really the ideal setup for me. I feel like in online group classes it's really hard to get the speaking time and the individual attention that you would like in order to learn. And I don't know if my German improved at that point. I feel like it kind of just plateaued, and maybe I learned some more grammar concepts, but I would not really say necessarily that there was a huge noticeable jump in my language difference there. And then I took a very long break. So from 2021, end of 2021 until 2024, I didn't learn German at all. I know, it's so bad. I think I just had a lot going on in terms of my work, and I didn't really make time to continue my German. So that is a mistake I would advise not making like I did, because if you want to learn a language, you really have to continue building on those blocks. So my tip is don't take a break if you really want to improve quickly. Let's fast forward and jump to 2024, which was last year. Decided to try an in-person group course. So another format that was introduced that I hadn't really tried previously, and this was at Goethe Institute. So I took a 10-day intensive course. I had to take a language placement test. Surprisingly, I still placed at B1. I guess I didn't lose all of my knowledge skills, but I could really tell that I didn't feel as confident speaking anymore and that my grammar was really terrible. I felt quite self-conscious about going into the class and having to start again, but you know, at the same time, everyone is learning. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and I just try to keep that in mind. At the Goethe intensive course, I really liked it because I love to interact with people. I love to learn in like a gamified kind of way. And at Goethe, they would offer a lot of different types of exercises that you could use in order to learn this language. We would learn grammar concepts and then have some kind of game to apply it. And this is really the type of learning that I like to do because I always feel like it's better to learn by application. If someone is just throwing grammar rules at you and just saying, yeah, just learn this table, learn this chart, that's not really the way to learn, as I'm sure a lot of other language learners, polyglots will also say to you. You don't have to memorize a table in order to learn a grammar concept. You learn by doing. I finished up my 10-day course. It was very quick. I only completed level B1.1. So with every level of German that you're learning, there's 1.1 and 1.2, and then you move on to the next letter. After that, I needed to start preparing to take the B1 test because I wanted to apply for my permanent residency in Germany. It had been long enough. I was eligible. I thought I should apply now. I did not complete all of B1. I completed half of B1. And that's when I thought, okay, I should probably get a private tutor again. I really need help in preparing for the B1 exam. One of the most important things that you should know is understanding the format, how much time you have, and how to answer the questions properly. I had 8 weeks to prepare. I found a tutor who was there to really kind of be on it, help me stay focused. I won't go too much into the details of taking the test itself, but I will let you know that this story has a happy ending and I passed. This was such a huge moment for me after thinking back to my journey and how much I struggled in the beginning and how much I wanted to quit. I even get emotional about it now, just thinking about how hard I worked to study and to really improve my German. And it was also at this time last year, as I was learning, that I started my TikTok channel. And that's when I decided to make all these videos about learning German and German words and how it can be fun. It really is such a cool language. And I think initially, it can come across as very intimidating because you have these super long words. I know that a lot of people make fun of it, but that's not what I'm here to do. The more I learn about it, the more I love it. And I hope that the more people see that it's just a really fun and interesting language. To wrap this up, I just want to say thank you all for subscribing to my channel. I'm really looking forward to building this community. I plan to probably talk a little bit more about life in Germany as an American, also about content creation because my background is in copywriting. I've been working in marketing for several years and now I'm on a slightly new path to just make content and see where it goes. Thank you so much for tuning in and I really hope that you'll stick around because I have a lot more things to come. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see from me, please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao!